all by choice. And that's not even talking about what we need.
Now rocking with the best.
I was just gonna say
Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie. You're listening to the fighter's voice.
we should announce it to Rich yet.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. Thank you, those that followed us earlier, and we had Jamal Herring on the Fighter's Voice. Now, today's guest, we have with us Eric Dog Boxer Hernandez, along with Kristine Stokes of Top Rank Boxing. We got a lot of news and a lot of information we want to deliver to you, the fans, the followers, and the supporters. Enough said. I want to thank our guests, Kristine Stokes and Eric Dog Boxer Hernandez. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast.
Hello, how are you?
How's everything going? How's everything going, guys?
Good.
Eric, what do you
I
drink?
mean, it's
Okay, go ahead.
been a long time. I'm just gonna say it's been a long time. It's good to see you. Good to be back.
Hey, it's good to have you on. I know you got some news and some things that you want to share, and we're gonna go off a list that our publicist grabbed from Eric Dog Boxer Hernandez, and he also has a lot of information to share too, man. One of the topics that I wanted to jump into, it was going to be the Jake Paul fight, and that's no longer taking place. First of all, on both, I want to ask Kristine first. What's your whole take on Jake Paul? I mean, you got to take him serious because he did sign a contract with Showtime Boxing, and the fight not following through. What's your take just right off the bat?
Well, I mean, I don't think it has anything to do with Jake. I think it has to do with his opponents,
Okay.
and obviously Tommy Fury. They given him so many chances now. Like,
Yeah.
this would now have been his third opportunity to fight Tommy, and for some reason Tommy can't show up. And I'm not going to talk shit because all of it, there's always shitter in the background. You hear so many stories. You don't know it's true. You don't know, whatever. You just got to take your own perspective on it. And as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter anymore. Tommy Fury hasn't been able to show up. So Jake Paul's going to take his next best thing. And for some reason, you hear some drama, you hear some stories about, Hassan, or I may be saying his name right, but
Rockman, yes, Junior.
Rockman. There you go.
Rockman, there you go. I don't even say it correctly. But yeah, like that whole situation to me, I think everything's a money play, unfortunately. And, I think Jake gets a lot of heat because he's new to the game. So he's joining partners with other people that have boxing experience, like Holden Promotions and stuff. And, his team actually has fighting experience. It's not like him himself maybe green to the industry, but like he has people behind him that are experienced in the industry. So it's not like he just popped up out of the blue and he's like, I'm a boxer. He's put in his time, he's won, unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you want to look at it. Like, you have the guys that are veterans that have been playing in boxing for a long ass time, they're dedicated, put the skin in the game, but sometimes money just gets you a lot faster, gets you higher a lot faster. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. And he's opened his eyes to the millennials, and a lot of the people are now like, a lot of people are like, oh, I can do anything I want at any age, and he's proven that, whether he's sincerely in the game or not. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him personally, but when I see him and I see his training, I feel like he is. So, I mean, that's my perspective. I'm not like his advocate. I know a lot of people that don't get along with him as well. So at the end of the day, it really sucks what happened because a lot of people are at a loss. That's a huge loss. A week into the right before the fight. I mean, what do you think, Eric?
My thoughts on celebrity boxing in general isn't probably the best. I see the struggles of professional fighters. I've been in the corners. I've been in the training camps. I've been in the gyms with these guys. So what I see them going through and what I see him doing, to me, is a huge letdown in the boxing community for them to be able to elevate what it's at. But like you said, the money situation does make a big difference. It's like where we saw Tank years ago is now not where we see him now. Why? Because he got the Mayweather the backing of that. It's the same thing with Ryan Garcia. Yeah, he had a big following on Instagram and whatnot, but he was nowhere doing nothing. He gets that golden boy check, and all of a sudden it's a big difference because the spotlight's on him. Jake played it really well. He did his thing. And for that, you can't blame him. For that, you can't hate on him. You know, he really did his thing, and it's like, okay, I get it. You know, to sit there and say, you know, matchmakers haven't said, hey, what's up? Do you want to do something? Do you want to put one of your guys? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know, it's been hit, but, you know, it's hit or miss when it comes down to it. You know, I think because there's so much outside business going on with Jake too, that I can't hate on what he's got going on because it kind of trickles into a lot of the stuff that we do. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and bash, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you won't catch me at one of those fights, most likely. I did go to the Zab Judah celebrity boxing match. To me, that's a huge difference because Zab Judah's a good friend.
He's a fighter, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good friend. I'm going to support it. I'm going to do what he has to do. And, you know, I'm gonna always support them. So it's to me, that's the difference, you know, but, you know, I think he did a good thing on this card. I think he lined it up smart. You know, he got good undercards on it. He was going to fight somebody who I think, in my opinion, would have been someone who would have gave him somewhat of a challenge. Now, when it comes to the whole weight thing, when it comes to the whole money thing, nobody knows. We don't know the truth. We don't know what really went on. But I do think that first weigh-in where Jake actually got to physically see him in person made the difference.
That was a tower of a difference.
That's
What
my
do you
opinion.
think happened?
I think he got scared. Because
But do you think that he
Rahman's
could've lost
arms
his
are
weight?
22 inches all the way around. Jake's are barely 18. That's a huge difference in the guy. So you're talking about
A lot of mass.
young guy fighting a man. That's how I saw it.
So, I mean, wouldn't he know that before if he shared the ring? Didn't mean to cut you off, Kristine. Wouldn't he know that actually sparred with him? Wouldn't he know that sharing the ring with him before, you know, he's at a point now where he gets to handpick his opponents or decide who he wants to share the ring with. But, Eric, wouldn't he have already known that? What do you think, Kristine?
I'm going to let Eric take this one. And
you got to remember, when they were sparring, you had a heavier Paul, you had a heavier Jake, and you had a lighter Rockman at that time.
Okay.
He was already in shape. Jake wasn't. So you had that difference in there. And you're talking about years ago. You're not talking about recent. So then you have a fit Rockman who, yeah, he may not have hit the 200 or whatever they agreed on. Right. But he was pretty solid where he was at. Now you got Jake who runs around at a lighter weight because, you know, he's fit. He's more into the cardio of the boxing. You know, he looks good. He looks good at that underweight. So it's like, that's where the difference came in.
Eric, you mentioned before that we would never catch you at one of those. What if it was a great event? What if it was a great charity match? I mean, can we catch you there?
Charity, yes, always.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
An event like that, I mean, I don't think so. I get invited to them all the time, and I don't think I have yet to want to attend one. Again, Zab was the only one that reached out and was like, this is my event. This is what I'm doing. Yeah, it's celebrity based. Jadakiss was there and Yuckmouth and all these guys, but I didn't see it in that light of, oh, it's celebs and YouTube and I didn't see it in that light. I saw it more like, no, there's people from the gym. No, there's people that I know. There's that boxing connection. So that's why to me it was like a no-brainer to go to that. Ali Setback was there. You know, I ran into people that I knew. So it was like, to me, it was just another boxing event. I didn't see it as a celebrity boxing.
Did you get a chance to see the young kid, Young Money Prince?
I did. He did an amazing job. I really wish I had time to go in the back and meet him, but we were just getting pulled left and right and whatnot. But I did get to see him. He did an amazing job. I mean, I definitely see a future. So you know, I mean, it was a really good fight. A really good fight.
Good. We had him on the show, and he actually came to co-host. We wanted to open up his skill set, man. I mean, he's a very sociable young man, and he does have a lot riding on him. You know, at the end of the day, he's still a kid and loves the sport of boxing. Before we jump into the 140-pound meat division, and I want to talk, there's some other things I want to cover. I'm going to go over some real estate companies that we're talking about, and on November 20th about a beauty pageant I also want to cover. But I want to talk about Teofimo's return, his anticipated return to the ring next week. What are you hearing, Eric? And how's training camp going? And Kristine, are you looking forward to covering this event?
Oh, we're super excited, especially coming. I mean, we all know it was a little shaky there. You know, he went to like be his own. We weren't sure if he was coming back. I mean, obviously, us on the girls' end, like we're not really. We know we see everybody there. Everybody says hi. You know, we're friendly with everybody and familiar. And Teofimo Lopez was a lot of the guys we meet right when they come on. You know, we're right there by the ring. You know, we see them at all the weigh-ins and the media workouts and stuff like that. I had the opportunity to actually be at the gym a few times before his last loss. And, you know, you see him just training. So, I mean, he's fucking ripped. He looks great and just gets getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then now he's coming back from that. So I'm super excited to see, like, just to see where he is, his mindset. Like, this has been a time we haven't seen him around as much. So it was a little fickle moment where we're like, is Teofimo going to re-sign with Top Rank? You know, because the whole thing that went down with the last fight. And then, not even re-sign, but you guys know the whole lingo. I'm not going to go into detail with that. But, you know, and then he hasn't been around as much. So that's where we know he's been training really hard for this. So, yeah, we're super excited to see him back in the ring and see, you know, hopefully take a win. We want to see it. He deserves it.
Eric, how hard is it for a fighter to turn it on, put it back on? I mean, turn it on, turn it off, put it back on, turn it off, and I'm not making excuses, and to say, okay, put it back on. Now, that last time you put it back on, after 2 times you had to postpone, is there any doubt in the back of your mind that, once again, we're going to turn this thing off? Jose Ramirez went through this.
It's not doubt, it's stress. I mean, it's stressful going through camp and having it get canceled. Going through camp and having the guy not make weight, everything affects your ring mentality. And I think that's something that a lot of fighters don't know how to deal with because it doesn't happen often. But when it does happen, it's probably one of the worst feelings you're going to get because you don't know your mindset walking into that ring. You know, the nervousness being in the back when you're wrapping your hands and all that, that's one thing. But the nervousness of walking into the ring, that's when it starts to go out of your mind. And when you're in that ring and you see the opponent on the other end, that's when it's okay, it's ready, it's time. But when you have that stress mentality of at any given moment, this may go away, or at any given moment, everything that you trained for so hard these last 3, 5, 6 months, whatever, it could just go away just like that. And that's the stress mentality that a lot of these guys aren't ready to deal with.
You've been around Teofimo for a while. You've known, you hear things here on the streets, you hear things inside of the training camp that's taking place. What can we expect once the bell rings from Teofimo? The old Teofimo, I need to make a point, or is he just focused on himself and taking care of business?
He's going to be out there to prove a point. You're going to see the old Teofimo, in my opinion. His training camp's been going good. He's ready he's ready to put himself back on that map, and he wants people to realize that he hasn't gone anywhere. It's just he hit a bump in the road. That was it.
Kristine,
what do you think about his opponent?
Good question.
You know, not to take away from Campa. Campa's a good guy, good fighter. I've seen his camp. He's preparing himself. He knows he's going to war. But I don't think I don't think he has that ring mentality like Teo does. I don't think he has that science down. You know, you put Lomachenko against Teo, and you're basically putting one of the best in science of boxing against him. He has that skill set now. So you're putting Campa in that same position now with Teo, in my opinion.
Well, I do want to ask this. I mean, on the other side of the coin, Kristine, what's Top Rank expecting from him? I mean, you know, it's the business part of boxing, the entertainment part of boxing. Do they expect him not to have missed a step at all, just to jump right back in there and be the Teofimo of old?
Well, I can't speak for Top Rank, but I can speak from.
I mean, their expectancy is very high.
Well, like obviously as a team, the Top Rank team and family, we're going to expect him to be in there. And hell yeah, kind of like, yo, maybe, you know, I need to kick ass and I need to win. I need to win this time for sure. And I don't think there's any doubts in his mind that he won't win, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, I don't know his opponent. I haven't done any research on it. So I can't speak like, oh, I know, but I'm just speaking from my knowing Tio. Like, that's how he's going to be. And Top Rank, of course, is going to expect it, but I don't want to take it too deep down the rabbit hole on that whole thing, because I know it's a really sensitive subject back before, you know, with him possibly leaving and stuff. So I just don't even want to talk about that. But definitely Top Rank's expecting him to win. The family is expecting him to win. The Top Rank family is expecting him to win. And I think he's expecting to win. Like, there's no L coming here, at all. Nobody's expecting that.
I talked to a few people at Top Rank. They're not concerned at all whatsoever. They're very excited. Yeah. They're excited. They're embracing him. He's back with Top Rank where he belongs. They believe the last time was a big distraction, and sometimes that income can become a big distraction, Eric. So they're expecting excitement and dynamite, and already want to match him up possibly down the road in the future. And I want to ask your take on this, Eric, with Arnold Barboza. So what do you think of that matchup, and is it premature to even talk about it right now on the show?
I think it is. I think it is premature, but I do see that down the line.
Okay.
I do see it down the line. I'm going to hold my opinion because it's a closeness on both ends. Again, one of the shitty parts about being with me is I know too many damn people in this shit. So, you know, I do see it in the future. I think it's too premature to say anything about it. I do think it's something that down the line I do believe should happen. But okay. I think both fighters need to get a couple people out of their way first before we see that.
Okay. I want to change it up a little bit. I want to go back and forth, but I want to make sure I cover some things here. I mean, November 20th, a beauty pageant. Talk to us about that, Kristine. What is that all about? What does it enhance? What does it include? And can we be a judge?
Well, absolutely. I could definitely work on you guys being judges for sure. We can definitely talk offline about that after. So November 20th, we're actually looking at it being a 2-day event, and we're going to separate the two because we're going to have Miss Fabulous America Filipina. Our second year would be this year, November 20th.
Where's it taking place at?
Miss Fabulous. Say again?
Where is it taking place at?
We haven't decided on a location, but so far I think we're going to lock in the New Orleans in Las Vegas.
Nice.
They have a great little showroom, ballroom area. And since we plan on doing it as a 2-day event, technically, we're having one day is going to be Miss Fabulous America Filipina, and then the next day is going to be Miss Fabulous Las Vegas. And I don't know if I told you guys this, but my mom was actually given the key of the city or something like that, where we got a Miss Fabulous Filipina Day announced to us, and it's November 20th. So I believe we're doing Miss Fabulous America Filipina on that day because we were given the day for, I don't know what it's called. I was asking her, I'm so sorry. It makes me sound so silly, but we were actually given the day by the mayor.
Awesome.
You know, I just pulled up a picture right now.
For sure.
I just pulled up a picture right now. I just pulled up a picture right now of you and your mom. And which one's your mom and which one's you?
See this?
No, I'm playing.
Right.
Wait, am I seeing it? Are you sharing the screen somewhere?
Yeah.
No, it's on the YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yeah, there it is right there. No, your mom looks great. She looks wonderful.
So in that photo right there, I don't know who's who.
I don't know what photo it is, but my mom's usually brunette. I'm usually the blonde. Yeah, we've been doing. I just did a pageant with her the other day, or like 2 weeks ago, just for fun. Just another local pageant. We didn't win, obviously. I mean, unfortunately, there's politics in pageants, which is what Miss Fabulous is trying to break the barriers of. We want people get out there and try their hardest and actually win based off of their participation, not just based off of, she participated 3 times in the past 4 years. You know, like that is what Miss Fabulous is about, is breaking the barriers of the stereotypes of regular pageants where it's, you know, the politics, it's who knows who, because it's not about that. It's about your participation. It's about your growth. It's about, just in general, finding your fabulous. And that's what Miss Fabulous is all about.
What's your involvement in this, and how many participants, and what do you look for? And is there scholarships involved in this? So my involvement,
oh, go ahead.
And is there also scholarships involved in this? I mean, where does it go? There has to be a good deed at the end of the day.
There is always a good deed. So not only do the girls grow great confidence from, doing something they never done before. A lot of the time, like, God, look at all the, like, Halle Berry, Oprah Winfrey, they've all been in pageants, and it's basically been able to provide them a platform to express themselves, or to at least speak of what they're passionate about, or find their passion. And like I said, our motto is finding your fabulous. So helping these young ladies, or even older ladies, because our age groups are from 13 to 50 and up, which is,
oh, wow.
Once again, we're breaking the barriers of the traditional beauty pageant.
Awesome.
To provide that platform for them to speak, or even for them to gain new friendships, camaraderie amongst other women, find their group, just things like that, or find a way to express themselves. Like me, I am a little older, and I never wanted to do pageants because I was like, oh, I don't want to go on stage. I don't want to talk to people. But I love it. I love talking on stage. I love to speak. And the other day, I had to speak about the pageant at a network event. And oddly enough, I was kind of nervous. I don't know why. But just like expressing yourself and getting over that hump of building the courage to do it. So my involvement of it is I'm the marketing director and co-founder of the pageant, and I'm also the host of the pageant. Ellen works mostly with the girls. I'll go in there and I'll speak to them about finding their fabulous and passions. And I'm a huge advocate of mental health maintenance and awareness. So I'd like to get in there and talk to them about, if you feel good on the inside, you're going to feel good on the outside. So finding your fabulous inside and out means about building a healthy regimen. If you're feeling anxiety, working out, eating healthy, and all of that helps you just feel better about yourself in general.
So you're also a life coach.
I'm my own life coach.
Oh, there you go.
But that is a future goal of mine, yes, to be able to speak on stage and express to women about, like, it doesn't matter how old you are, like, creating regimens for you and routines helps you overcome life obstacles, and hopefully helps other people to find their their kind of like light at the end of the road, for lack of better words, or like I keep sticking to, finding their fabulous. Like I always at my age keep going, what's my purpose, and I think my purpose is to really just talk about what I'm talking about now, like just helping others in general, feeling confident and feeling comfortable regardless of what your challenges in life is. I think what you're facing challenges in life.
I think it's good because once you have a date set, it motivates that person to become the best they can and transform themselves, if they never spoke before, if they've never been in a pageant before, getting over that obstacle, getting over that being, and build that confidence. And earlier I chuckled only not because of the pageant, because you said, I don't like talking to people. I thought that was funny because I really don't either at times on my own time, unless I'm at the bar with Eric.
I sometimes don't feel confident. I really know that's my goal, is to speak in public about this in general. Like, and at the time my mom sprang on me last minute, and I don't know if you listen to Mel Robbins and all these life coaches, and they have the 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and you just jump up. And my mom's the lady at the network, and she's like, can you talk to people, or can you speak about the pageant right now? And I'm all I was just eating, I was just listening, and I wasn't there for that. And I was just 3, 2, 1, let's go. I need to learn, because this is my passion. I want to be able to speak to people. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't prepare, but I got up there and I spoke from my heart about the pageant, which is what we do, and then our nonprofit organization, and what we've done in the past, and what our future plans are. And although I was a little nervous because I wasn't ready, but those are the baby steps that I need to take to get where I need to be, to help others to learn to express themselves and learn to get through things.
I like that terminology. 3, 2, 1, go. Means just get up and go. I mean, rather than saying, well, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Mel Robbins is the 5-second rule. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
I'm 3, 2, 1, go. I cut out the first 2. I just got to do it.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. #give it to you. You own it now. Speaking of ownership, Eric, I get hit up like I'm Dog Boxer. Hey, Rich, where can I get some of these shirts at? I said, well, subscribe to Eric and get a hold of him and tag him on Instagram. And you know what I did tell him that was so funny? I said, how can I give you what I don't even have? So how do we get that? How do we get that? How do we get that new apparel out there, Eric? And who endorses it? And do we have any new designs coming?
I can't even name the amount of people that endorse it. We constantly try to give it out. Put it on the right people.
Okay. Enough said. I'm not the right person for the job, for the shirt.
I've got photos with you with the original logo.
Yeah, you do.
I want to say you got a hat, if anything, yeah. But it's been one of those things. Right now, thankfully, Sofia's been running the Dog Boxer thing. Okay. It's literally, honestly, been all her right now. She's just been. She's just been a blessing. She's one of the owners. She's just been gunning it, gliding it, and going with it, and it's been doing great. I know there's some things in the works right now. There's the Dog Boxer Go to Bed hand wraps that just came out. Those are selling like crazy. The Dog Boxer Scrap Pack hand wraps, those were going like crazy. All the shirts, everything's still online. I would definitely hit up the Dog Boxer Athletics Instagram page.
Okay.
That's mostly we're going to be able to get most of your stuff at. My DMs, I do get people asking me all the time and whatnot. I'll be very honest. I haven't really been really good on following up with stuff like that. And I apologize to everybody out there. It's just been crazy busy, but with traveling and everything right now, it's just been hectic. So I haven't really been able to catch up on a lot of that stuff, but Sofia's definitely been on top of it. She's doing her thing. She's making Dog Boxer what it is, honestly, right now. So big shout out to her. And that was my partner Gavin's girl right there. Unfortunately, when he passed away, we kind of got lost for a second, and she grabbed it and was like, "No, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're going to do it." And she's just been solid on it, running it, and just doing her thing with it. So if it wasn't for her, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be seeing anything Dog Boxer at this point. So, again, big shout out to Sofia for everything that she's been doing. And the brand's still here. The brand's still around. We got sponsorship left and right on people. Again, I can't even name a crazy amount of people that I still see wearing it all the time. A lot of the NDA family, a lot of the Represent family, a lot of the, Garcia Boxing Academy family, Top Rank family. Everybody's been really, really supportive of everything, and we'll see where the brand goes, and I'm sure there's things planned and lined up here pretty soon.
Well, we got to get the Fighter's Voice family and the Fighter's Voice Espanol and the Fighter's Voice Vegas family. We got to get everybody wrapped up in those. I don't even care if I'm wearing hand wraps, brother, and I'm not even a fighter. I'll wear them on the show, okay? We'll do something. We'll make this thing happen. Talking about making something happen. This Saturday we got Virgil Ortiz jumping back in the ring, and he'll be live on DAZN, and I'm looking forward to that, as we all are. Teofimo Lopez a week afterwards, but there's a local kid that I want to recognize. Do we have that picture of Hector Madera? I'm going to see if we can pull it up right now. Okay, we're going to try to pull that up right now. And until we do, I want to talk to, there we go, right there. Hector Madera, August 26th, San Joaquin County Fairgrounds, the return of Hector Madera, the younger brother of Kilo the Kid Madera. He'll be putting his boxing gloves, bringing his tenacity inside of that ring. He will represent and hopefully come out victorious. I want to call things as if they're not, as if they are already, and know that he will come out victorious, and let him know that we do support you, we do back you. And after August 26th, Hector, let's sit down, let's talk some possibly some sponsor business, and I'll be more than happy to, help and support, not just verbally, but see what we can do as far as, the checkbook and helping you out, man, because you do have a promising career. So, Eric, I want to definitely. Eric, I want to ask you about young Hector, man. I mean, because he seems, I don't want to say he's in the shadow of his brother, but he has a chance to make a name for himself. I mean, all that talent, the clock is ticking with Father Time. We have a small window when it comes to boxing, but nevertheless, the young man is very talented. Talk to us about how you met him and where he can go from here right now. If you were his advisor, what advice would you give to young Hector?
You know, Hector is one of those fighters that once you see him in action, you get excited because you're like, man, I can do things with this guy. Kilo was that for me right away. You know, seeing Kilo in the ring, seeing what he was doing was like, oh, amazing. You know, he did his thing with Top Rank. He did his thing on PBC, on damn near every damn, you know, promoter that you could see. And he you know, did an amazing thing, but kind of in his shadows was his brother. But if you were around, if you knew the right cards, if you saw the right promotion, you would see that was the star that was shining in that fight, you know, on that card. And I've always said it. I've always said I'm a huge fan of Hector. Both the brothers are amazing. They're good friends of mine. But Hector's always been to me that kid where it's like somebody needs to manage him and manage it correctly, because he's going to be that kid that's going to make or break that person. And, you know, I don't even fade what he's going to do in Stockton because I already know he's going to handle it. It's his hometown. Yeah. Nobody dominates him in his own town. No. He fought a bronze medalist, didn't even fade him, did his thing, and it was a tough fight. And, you know, nothing faded him. It was his hometown. It's his turf. He's going to do what he's going to do, and it's the exact same thing. I think that's going to happen on this fight at the fairgrounds on the 20th. And, you know, I just see him as the next big thing that's going to come out of Stockton. You know, we've been kind of waiting on it. We had a few that came out. You know, they didn't prosper where we thought they were going to be at, but there's still hope for him. And I think that's who we're going to start seeing coming out of the 209.
Will you be at that fight, Eric?
I will not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I will not. I will be in. I'll be attending another event.
San Diego.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. I want to talk briefly about the 140-pound division, and then I want to talk about some news that may be breaking that we all been talking about, and maybe we can talk a little more about it towards the show. But right now, I do want to talk about Regis Prograis, Cepeda, and Jose Ramirez once having the opportunity to fight for the world title, now stepping aside, and I believe is going to fight the winner of those two. Now, I've said it before to several guests. It sounds like we have a small tournament, and this is part of the semifinals. I mean, these three fighters in the mix, you can't go wrong. And then we have Arnold Barboza's hanging out there, Teofimo Lopez, and some other fighters that we can bring to light also in the 140-pound division. First of all, what's your take of? It was once going to be Jose Ramirez and Cepeda, the rematch. Nobody thought about Regis Prograis. Now all of a sudden it's Regis taking Jose's spot, and Jose is now set, not in stone, or maybe it is in stone, to take on the winner. What's your whole take on this, Eric? And then I want to get Kristine's take on this.
I think Regis and Cepeda is a better fight for now. I do think whoever wins that should possibly go up to Ramirez. I think Ramirez is above them at this point, so these two would be the best ones to kind of match up. A big fan of Cepeda, a really big fan of Regis, but I do think Regis takes this, honestly. Zepeda's been an amazing fighter. He's been very impressive his last fights, but I think just Regis's hunger is just it's there, and I think the Regis Ramirez fight would be better fight in my opinion, because we've seen the Cepeda Ramirez already. And although a close fight, I still think Ramirez dominates him. Dominates that fight. But the Ramirez-Regis would just, to me, be a more interesting fight. I still think Ramirez takes Regis no matter what. It's just way too much ring experience for Regis. But that's how I want to see it.
Kristine, where do you put Teofimo Lopez into this mix?
I have no idea. Don't ask me to play boxing analytics.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
So torn down for that.
As far as by sight, as far as by popularity, as far as and how you know him and he's putting in the work, You see these fighters transition themselves from a nice person outside of the ring to animals basically inside of the ropes. You have to at least know that Teofimo's can put a wrench in all of this. He's well capable of doing so with his power. I guess the big question is, how does he transform himself from the 135-pound division to 140 pounds? I guess this question can go to Eric, but I do want to ask this, Kristine. Do you have any problem or concern choosing a winner when they're not with the top-ranked family? Just knowing, based on your experience as a fight fan, knowing, okay, this has to be the stronger fighter going into this matchup.
Oh, do you mean do I play favorites because they're
No. I mean, does it influence your decision? We'll say that.
You know what? When I was younger, I thought that we were all top-ranked fighters, so I don't think so.
Okay.
Now that I know that that's not the case, actually, that's really funny you say that, because we were just in Hinckley, Minnesota, and we weren't cheering for the top-ranked fighter, and we got death stares from other people. We were like, okay,
I don't even want to ask who.
We have to be in favor of the top-ranked fighters. But at the end of the day, we are boxing fans, so we are biased to like Teofimo Lopez, of course. We're going to be biased, to our friend that didn't win last time. Eric and I spoke of him. So, and that's who we were cheering for, like at the end of the day, like we have our fan favorites, and sometimes it's not even because they're skill. It's just because of our relationship with them, because you have an emotional, because you see them since they're younger, you've been with them through all those wins and losses, so you have some type of emotional connection to them.
You're invested.
But at the end of the day, if we go down to skill, as long as Teofimo trained properly, and I don't mean just physically, I mean nutritionally, because gaining weight doesn't just mean, I got to put on weight. It means you have to learn how to use that weight.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not talking about me. I gained 10 pounds and I'm like, this is not fun for me. I don't feel good. So when you're gaining the 10 pounds and you have to fight with 10 pounds, it's not the same. Because when you're 130 pounds, you're light as a feather, sting like a bee, just like, the great Muhammad Ali said, it is a different kind, but he wasn't light, obviously. But I'm saying for me, physically, me training at a lighter weight, when I'm running, when I'm boxing, I'm faster, I'm quicker, and I feel stronger. So putting on that weight, if he properly trained and properly gained it, he will be great. So I'm not worried about it as long as it was done properly.
Well, I agree with you with that. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't get a chance to I want to congratulate on a great fight, Giovanni Cabrera. And he outwitted Gabriel Flores Jr., and he said he is who he says he is. He said, I am that person. He became that person. Gabriel left every single thing in the ring. Nothing but respect for him in his corner, because there's a lot of opportunity for fighters to stop or quit or make something up. Flores left everything inside of the ring and did the best that he could. Unfortunately, it was Giovanni's night that night, and he came out victorious. I want to ask you about that. You got top-ranked fighter against top-ranked fighter. At that point, don't you just want to see a good fight? Or you're invested, Kristine, in the relationship.
That particular fight, we obviously we want to see we always want to see a good fight.
Right.
But we love Gabe Flores. He's one of our, he's like a baby brother. We've watched him from beginning, So for us, regardless of who's gonna or who's winning it, or what the who they think is gonna win, we're still gonna root for Gabe Flores. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. He's the type that you have his back from beginning to end, so it doesn't matter. Same with Teofimo Lopez. We're always gonna root for him. We're always gonna root for Gabe Flores. It doesn't mean we don't love the box, the actual fight. Doesn't mean we don't know the difference between a good, whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. But at the end of the day, we still have, our hearts set with certain fighters, just because you've been with them from the beginning, so you have your heartstrings attached.
I agree with you. And Eric, that you've had to make that hard decision numerous times. You're invested. You'll sit down and have dinner with them. You meet their families. You see them outside of the ring, whether you want to or not. They kind of grow on you. You're very well invested, and sometimes, Eric, your heart takes over at times. Watching that fight, and you see it transition from the very beginning, because Giovanni jumped right on him, And to watch young Gabriel at least make a fight of it, and then, until it started just to slip away from him. How did you see the outcome take place? Did you think it was going to be a finish, or did you know it was going to go to the scorecards midway through the fight?
Yeah, going into the fight, no matter what, it's Team 209. So I was in Flores' corner right off the bat. And knowing where his mentality was, knowing that they had a game plan, that to me was like, everything's going to go good. We're going to see a young Gabe handle it, and nothing's going to be the issue. I don't think what everybody was prepared for was Giovanni coming in saying, well, I got my own game plan. And I think it's difficult to watch. It's difficult to see because you have that support for that one fighter you want to win so much. The thing is, I already knew who Giovanni was. I already seen him coming up. I knew the type of fighter he was. So going into that fight, I was nervous. Seeing how the first few rounds came around was like, shit. Honestly, it was literally, that's exactly what came to my mind, was like, shit, this is where it's going to go. I didn't think he would finish Gabe. I thought, my honest opinion was, this is going to go the distance. Gabe's going to handle it. It's just how he handles it is what's going to make the difference. If he can outwit his opponent, if he can score some good hits, if he can be closer on the cards, is my thought. But the knockdowns weren't helping, and when you're knocked down, when you touch that canvas, it's a different mindset, and all your plans can go sideways in a heartbeat, and it's unfortunate. It's difficult when you have, and not with Flores or anything like that, but when you have those really good relationships with these fighters and you see them get a loss, it's difficult to go back to them and say, okay, well, it's just a loss. It's probably one of the worst things you can say to them, because it's not your loss, it's my loss. That
exactly.
Loss it's hurtful. It sucks. Seeing someone fall on the canvas isn't fun, and it's really hard to bounce back from, and it's difficult, and that plays a lot in your mentality and stuff. Stokes is very mindset and very she has that whole right passage of saying, well, this is why I care so much about the athlete's mindset and what they're going through, and that mentality stable, because a lot of fighters don't have that backing right now. They have their teammates, and their teammates are just concentrating on the next fight for somebody else in the stable. So, having that one person you can go to say, hey, I lost, what's next for me? That's difficult. So I think luckily Gabe does have that, especially with his dad. Yeah. And that's probably the most promising thing with them. But again, it's a difficult loss, and it sucks. You have your hometown favorites, and things like that happen, and there's always going to be the haters. There's always going to be the guys, well, I knew it was going to happen. I knew this. And there's always that professional fan that knew everything way 10 days before the shit even happened. And it's like, it doesn't always happen that way. It just sucks.
I don't have a
problem. How do you overcome losses like that? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What's that?
How do you overcome or help like yourself, like when you went through that, or helping like your, the young fighters, or even the more mature fighters, like how do you help them overcome that and rebuild? Like
when I've had fighters lose that I know of that worked with me or worked with them and whatnot, the first thing I always tell them is, okay, well, where did we go wrong? What went wrong? That's the first thing you always want to point out, because it's the simplest mistakes that you can fix. And when you're fixing those mistakes, the mentality can change. You can't sugarcoat things, because one, they're hungry, so they're just going to want to eat it. So it's like, just don't sugarcoat it. Just tell them, be upfront. You really want to avenge that, and you really want to say, okay, well, what are we going to do the next time? What can we do the next time? That whole, well, it's just one loss or it's just two losses, that doesn't help the mentality for anything. It's where did we go wrong? What can we do next? What are we going to do to rebound from this? Because we've had Ramirez, we've had Teofimo, we've had Lomachenko, we've had the Manny Pacquiao's, we've had all these amazing fighters that we were like, these guys are never going to lose, and not lose in a oh, they lost, no, in a shocking way, like holy shit, this just happened, this kid just lost. Flores' first loss was, to me, still like, wow.
I was shocked and I was stunned about that one too. I really was.
The crazy thing is, the person that he lost to is the same guy that Andy lost to, and it's like
that guy got overlooked twice though. He really did. He pulled
exactly, and people were overlooking this cat like, well, he's nothing, and it's like, no, he beat a high caliber fighter, and you're putting him into the ring with a kid who's pretty high caliber, in my opinion, still not there. Maybe a fight away from that.
Yeah, I agree.
People overlook that, and then boom, he gets that loss, and it's like,
I agree.
It's like crap.
You know, I was going to ask that without that completely taking over the show. I mean, and I don't want to be that person to ask, hey, was he rushed? But that's water under the bridge now. I do want to say this because we talked about people, the haters, and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. But Eric, it's how they hate. Show some class. I mean, we got people from around my area fucking celebrating that. I can say, okay, I knew that would happen if he fights his opponent. I can say it to myself or as an analyst, but I'm not going to go cheering by a 12-pack and put on Twitter, I told you, and this, and it's just ridiculous.
I honestly refuse to, when that loss happened, I had a lot of people saying, hey, can you give us a quote? Can you give me a quote? And I kept quoting the same thing. Like, it was a unfortunate loss.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to say?
Very unfortunate.
I think people were they wanted that hate, and it was like, no, we're not going to do that. Like, I had people in Stockton texting me, look at what happened. I'm like, it's unfortunate, man. It sucks.
There's people that had them on their show and was celebrating without even going into detail or anything. I will say this though, and throughout the whole fight, honestly, I was very impressed with Gabriel Flores Sr. One, he kept his composure. Two, what he was offering his son was exactly what he needed to do, was step aside. And I think he would have had success. I'm not saying he would have won the fight, Eric, but he would have had some success and be able to land his own punches. And being that said, I do not want to take away from the beautiful game plan Freddie Roach had for Giovanni Cabrera and his whole team.
Right. No, yeah. Freddie came in with the plan. Gio came in with the plan, and they stuck to it. It was a good game plan. They studied a fighter, and they proved it. And not a lot of people are giving them credit for that. And that's the unfortunate thing. But we're not going to see the last of Gabriel, and we're definitely not going to see the last of Giovanni.
No. But my question is, here's a hard question, and you may know how to answer this one, Kristine, is where do we see Gabriel Flores at? Do we see him under the top-ranked banner? Do we see him under, I'm going to keep it real. Do we see him with PVC? Do we see him with Golden Boy? We don't know what decisions either team is going to make or any promotions going to make. Let's not pretend it doesn't exist. But one thing, in fact, that you will see is you will see Gabriel Flores one day soon, once again, under the lights of either the main event or the co-main event. And possibly, if all this comes together the way it needs to, possibly the dream is to fight for that world title.
Well, I know Eric and I spoke of it. Just comes back to like, I mean, look at all the shit Teofimo's went through, and he's coming back. He doesn't give up. Like he's like, I'm gonna go, even if let's just say he feels it from all the way inside and out. Like he is the takeover. He's gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Gabe Flores has to build up and has to rebuild that mentality, like that he's got this, because this was happening to athletes. They lose, they win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, they're not like football players. We get the whole team camaraderie. It's just yourself. You're in the ring. So you are against that opponent. But when you have a great team behind you, which I know Gabe does, I know Eric and I talked about like just different style of training, bringing on mental health coach and all of that to help bring his mindset back to where he needs to be. Because, he did get popped with fire when he first got there. And like he said, Freddie Roach built out a great game plan for him. And, you know, it caught him off guard. And I don't think anybody expected that because everybody's like, oh, shit, Gabe's in trouble. Like,
and there was a lot of
we
around
all love
left.
Gabe, and we were rooting for him. And I was going to ask you guys, like, Eric, when we're screaming in the back, like us, we're like, let's go, Gabe. Like, we were getting heat from the other team. We're like, oh, they can see us. They can hear us screaming.
That's usually where everybody starts texting you guys. Can you guys shut up, please? Can you guys
They're
stop?
like,
They'll let Lee Samuel see you do that.
No, you know what though? It gives fighters that mentality, or it gives this fighter that confidence of, I'm fighting for my team. I'm fighting for my people. That's why I love when Gabe fought in Stockton, because people were looking at that fight as, oh, he's not even the main event. You know, all these haters are not the main event, blah, blah, blah. But everybody was there to see him. And he packed that house. That following week, there was another event there. I won't name who the event was for. But that following week, there was another event I attended. And I hit up Rick and told Rick, I think I sent him a video or a picture. And I shot it to Rick and I said, this compared to Gabe's fight. And right away he texts back. He's like, ha ha ha. We packed that house and they had more time than us to plan that. It's like, you know, when you fight in your hometown, that's a big thing. When you fight around people that want to see you win, whether it's in Hinckley, Minnesota, Vegas, Stockton, whatever, having that fan base, having those, you know, that backup, it's an amazing feeling, and it's a good feeling to have. Gabe knew he was going into something difficult. You know, again, game plan didn't work. It didn't work, but that's not to say that he's not at the gym right now handling it, because I could guarantee he is. You know, where he goes from here, you don't know. You know, let's be honest. Let's be blunt. Where does Top Rank see him? Where does Top Rank want to do with him? You have a co-main event fighter who's not living up to the expectations of what they think he should be at. Where do you set him at? Are you going to keep him there? Are you going to use him as a filler fighter? He'll never be a B-side fighter, but he'll be an A-side fighter, but undercard fighter now. What's going to happen? And that's the difficult stress that Gabe's going to have to deal with now. Now he's going to have to prove that point. He's going to have to prove that thing. But I still think he has the opportunity. Again, it's 2 minor losses. I hate saying that, but it's just 2 minor losses. It's early in his career, I think.
He's so young.
Yeah, he's still young. I still think there's a future for him. I definitely still think there's a future for him.
I do too. I do too. I really do. You said something earlier in the show, and I wanted to follow up on that. You said, well, this is what's going on, but first of all, 209. You said you're all about the 209, and I
always.
And I will say this, because I get a lot of there you go. I get a lot of feedback on, hey, well, you had Cepeda on the show. You've had Regis. You talk real highly of Regis. I'm a fan of Regis. I'm a fan of the Rigaroo. But let's get this thing clear right now, okay, man? Check this out. Jose Ramirez to the casket drop. Plain and simple, period. Let's get that clear. Let's get it out there. If I can't interview the Pro Grace and the Cepedas and the Diafimo Lopez, then I'm in the wrong job. But I love to do it.
You ain't got a show.
Exactly. But I am Jose Ramirez, Team Ramirez to the casket drop, man. And that's just the way it is.
Always.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be.
Even in our own hometown shows, I've helped corner the opponent because they don't have an extra cut man or extra corner man, whatever. Boxing is boxing. Everybody's in it for the same shit. Now, granted, I'm always gonna push for that 209 fighter. Always. Yeah. I'm always gonna push for that Oxnard Riverside fighter. Always. Why? Origins.
That's what makes us.
That's what makes us. But it doesn't mean I'm against the other opponent. It doesn't mean I'm against the other team. I'm always going to show that respect. Having them on the show is always going to be the same thing. You know, I think, you know, we can go down, talk about this later, but I think when the new show that we've got going on comes out, that's going to be a big thing too.
Let's talk about that. Let's just jump right into that. Introduce that. I want to hear the ideas. Where's it going? What ideas do you have for the show? Who's who? Let's jump right into that because I do. I'm curious. I want to know.
It's going to be mostly about me. No, it's kidding. It's gonna be about what's going on. You know, I'm now in the crypto NFT Web3 space. I'm really big advocate for mental health, maintenance, and awareness, as I said earlier. Sports. I mean,
So is Mia St. John.
Everything. Oh, say again.
I'm sorry. So is Mia St. John. If you know her story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well then I'll email it to you. I'm sorry. I just had to interrupt that because I just saw an opportunity to let you know. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I mean, these are all things I need to learn about with other people because I'm like, there's just so much going on. I mean, obviously with Top Rank, I was on the road for a long time, and then I get home and it's like crash course to like catching up with real life and then trying to sort out like all the other projects I have going on. So I need to really be like, even like today, like it just catches up with me so fast. I'm like back to back to back. So I mean, there's a lot of things going on. So basically, Eric and I just want to be out there and just talk about everything that you're talking about, and then talk about everything that's going on outside of the boxing industry. Because I mean, there's a lot of things that happening right now. The crypto scene's going crazy.
NFT scene's going crazy.
Yeah, it's going nuts. And the wild thing is that I'm not an NFT collector. I am an NFT advocate and crypto enthusiast, but it's still a world that I'm not fully immersed in as far as like money-wise, monetarily, but as far as commitment and knowledge, something I'm, nosedived in for sure.
The show Headway is mostly, everybody sees what Kristine and I have done in boxing, with boxing, around boxers, and blah blah blah. But again, there's always those side things that we're doing that we always run into the same exact people, and they're like, "Wait, we didn't know you did this," or "Holy crap, we didn't know you guys were involved with this." And now we're just want to combine that and say, okay, the crypto stuff, we've been involved with it, and this is what it is. But did you also know that the Ward family, the Haney family, all these other families are heavily involved in that too. NFTs, WBC Boxing is getting involved in it. The Ali Foundation is getting involved with it. Tyson's heavily involved with it. The marijuana business, that's huge for everyone. It's huge for the CBD lines for dog boxers, huge. So we want to be able to combine everything on one show and say, hey guys, this is what we got going on, and this is how you guys can get involved, or this is how you, the fan, can get closer to what we do and what your favorite fighter does, and we want to be able to involve, the different fighters that we want to interview, the opponents we want to interview, the people in the NFT and the crypto world that we want to interview, the people in the CBD world. And the CBD world's humongous. It's huge. It's, right now that I've been nursing my knee, I can't even tell you how many different lines of CBD have crossed my path because they say it's the best of the best of the best. And it's like, at this point, I'm pretty sure I have weed growing in my fucking knee, but it's one of those things that, there you go. It's just one of those things where we want to be able to broadcast that show out to, the fans and say, hey, thank you guys for following us. Thank you guys for everything that you guys have done with us from the past till now. Yeah. And now you guys are really going to get involved and really see what we got going on.
I think it also brings awareness. A lot of people may not even know that, hey, until they watch the show or know exactly what you're involved in, and you're not afraid to bring it up, because that's not your typical, okay, how do you transition the boxing, the athlete, to awareness and what have you. And you guys are taking a bold step. My hat's off to both of you guys. And I can see a lot of people wanting to be a part of it, not only in sponsorship, but just having that ears to listen to you, and you bringing serenity to a lot of people that have those concerns personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, again, there's so much things that we got going on outside of it that it just made more sense for us to say, okay, well, let's present it and see what happens. Again, because of, one way or another, everybody was just kind of like honed in of, okay, well, how can we get involved? How can we step it up? And how can we, how can we project what we got going on through you guys? So it kind of just made sense to just push it through and see what happens. And Stokes is traveling everywhere in the world. You never know where she's at. And I'm just at home nursing my knee.
You're living vicariously through me.
Well, is there a date? When can we expect it? Are we going to sit down? I'm curious, or without giving out too much, because we'll talk about logos, times, and all that other stuff. But I'm curious. When can we give them a date? When can we sit down and say, okay, here's the debut, here's what's coming on, and I'm looking forward to see all these nice topics, and hey, I'm excited as well.
I think we had a minor setback, but
yeah, we had a minor setback.
There was a leg injury.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I fractured my patella, so it kind of just put everything on the back burner. But I think Kristine and I will be linking up here pretty soon. We kind of got some other things that we got to kind of clear out of the way and kind of set a path for.
Yeah.
But I think once that's done, we'll have a better process of how we're going to roll this out. It's kind of a big deal for a lot of the people involved, because it's not just one simple call out, roll out. It's going to be kind of hey, because we're rolling this out, all these other projects are going to get involved. So it's got to be simultaneous. It's got to be at the right moment and whatnot. So I think once, we clear some other things out, we'll have a better date, hopefully sooner than later, but definitely by the end of the year, you guys will be hearing something.
Man, I'm curious, and I'm looking forward to it, and watching the name being blasted out there, and looking for that platform just to take off, because iron sharpens iron. Two heads are better than one. 3, 4, 5, and it's a whole team thing. I mean, there's no ego here. It's all about having the opportunity to bless people with the platform and allowing them to be heard. A lot of people say, yeah, Richard, I don't use the term I use the term our. I never say, oh, did you see my? No, it's us. It's everything, because the show belongs to the viewers, the fans, and the supporters. At the end of the day, they put it on or turn it off, or they want to tune in, they want to help out, or they don't. So it belongs to them. We're just the voice. We're the platform, and we're given the opportunity to give back. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the growth.
No, definitely. A lot of people, I know, a lot of people have been asking what's going on, because they know. Did we lose them?
Oh, no. I'm putting up the YouTube comments that are up there. Yeah, they're on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been asking. A lot of people I know kind of hit us up and said, hey, I thought this was going to be happening. But we kind of again, with the fracture and everything, it just kind of threw everything for a whirlwind. But again, we want to do it smart. We want to do it the best way. I think we had some other stuff lined up that Stokes and I were kind of like, well, let's handle that first before this gets involved, because between her shows and between what I had going on with the fighters and whatnot, it was just it just made more sense. But a lot of support's been coming the way. It's funny you just said the live chat, because I've been seeing a couple of people on there that have been trying to get my attention.
Well, I got a text, and this question's for a question for both of you. It's from the Black Corner, Shelly Hollis. First of all, Eric, what happened to your leg? And Kristine, what's your diet like? Can you give it to one of my girlfriends? Because without her losing her, without her losing that big ass, kept it real, right?
So on mine, I was fighting some ninjas, and I had to handle it. So that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say the truth because it's embarrassing, but
okay.
It is what it is, and
I like that story better.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to that story. Even the doctor was like, "Just stick to this story. Don't ever admit what really happened, because that's just showing your age."
Oh, okay.
Wow. Ninjas, man, you gotta be careful with them.
They showed up.
You do.
Big shout out to Shelly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shelly, man.
My diet and regimen, honestly, I was in New York. But I was in New York for 3 weeks in a row, because I went to 2 fights here at MSG, and then I went to NFT NYC for a week. Came back to Vegas, went hard. So I've literally been off my regular regimen for 2 months. Which, what's harder than creating a new habit? It's way easy to break a habit and then maintain that bad habit. So basically, for the past 2 months, I've been off my regular routine, but one thing I do on a regular daily basis is I do 100 squats, and I do 30 push-ups every day, every morning, and every night at least 30 push-ups. So that maintains my regular. But as far as my diet, I generally intermittent fast, 20 hours, 3 days a week, and then the rest is 16 to 18 hours.
Oh, wow.
And I do
Kelly
fasted
doesn't want to know
cardio.
about my diet.
But as far as the butt thingy, I should measure my butt, really, because I literally do 100 squats a day. I'm so sorry to go so vogue. Like,
no, I'm probably going to get about 100 volunteers right now, and that now want to sponsor and say, hey, I'm the man or woman nowadays for the job. Or you may have couples on one side and one side is on the other. I'm keeping it 100. This is how we. There you go. Put us some pictures there.
Whatever promotes the show at this point.
Continue. Well, maybe we'll do a whole let's measure
segment. Let's do a whole segment on that. Let's just do a whole
segment. on the Stoke ass, right?
Right.
For real, like I was gonna do a segment or start recording just because it's really crazy being, like I was saying, like just being my average weight for the past several months has been between 115 to 120. I'm right now at 133 probably. So that to me is outrageous right now feeling. I just don't feel good, like if it's definitely easier to like eat bad and do nothing. But like I was saying, so I'm thinking like, and then like tomorrow or maybe when I get back to Vegas on Monday, I'm going to start my regimen where I do my fasted cardio, and then I won't eat till like 1 o'clock or maybe 5. Let's say 3 to 5 is my open eating window, 3 to 5. And then I stop eating by 9 p.m. So if anybody wants to hit me up in the DM, I'm more than happy to send over some stuff, because that's like my passion is just to like know people's blood types and let me figure out a regimen for you, and I'll send over like a workout, like even if it's a 5-minute hit to a 25-minute hit you do every other day, like whatever it is, whatever your time you can fit in. Like I literally do squats while I'm brushing my teeth.
There you go. And you know what we should do? We should mess with people, Eric. Let's do this, because I know she's going to at least get one DM saying, send me a picture of your ass, right? So when they do that, Eric, send them a picture of your ass.
It's on my Instagram.
I just sent them a picture of mine. And
yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
DM, I know where all the McDonald's are in the Central Valley, NorCal area. That's pretty much my regimen right there.
Hey, man.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I mean, feeling sluggish does suck. It really does, especially in the summertime. I get kind of irritated sometimes with the heat anyways, but I do the best that I can, as we all do. Eric, is there anything we didn't cover that you need to get across? And the same question for you, Kristine.
Yes.
My end, I just want to, August 20th, Saudi Arabia, Usyk versus Joshua. That's going to be a big deal.
Yes.
We've got a lot going on with that. Team Joshua, but huge fan of Usyk as well. We also got Shields is fighting. Clarissa Shields will be fighting Savannah Marshall.
That's going to be a hell of a fight.
That's going to be a hell of a fight. Really looking forward to that. Just really excited about seeing Shields back in the ring and seeing what she can do and dominate. And then I'm not a fan of it, Canelo versus Triple G, but I'm excited to see Canelo come back after his loss and see what he has to prove. And to me, Canelo or Triple G kind of just looked like a grandpa in the media day thing. So I wasn't impressed. I wasn't really looking forward to it. But September 17th, we'll see how it happens. We'll see two different men, and hopefully we can see what we got going on with that.
Well, I'm a fan of the content that I'm going to go out there and grab. I got to make there's opportunity out there to go grab that. Kristine, take us away. What do we need to mention? What's going through your mind? What do we want to get across?
I did want to give a little shout out to everybody that participated in my back to school shoe drive. My first back to school shoe drive. We actually, I don't know, friends of mine out of Fresno brought it to my attention that they wanted to expand Kick It Outreach to Vegas. So I reached out to my nonprofit organizations, including my own, and we put together this huge collaboration. It was a huge success. It was on the 24th of last week. And God, we served over 400 kids, got, brand new pair of shoes, and it was pretty awesome. And next year is going to be even better. And then my friends are having their back to school event tomorrow on the 6th, right? August 6th in Las Vegas and in Fresno. So thank you to everybody that donated shoes and money for me to go buy new shoes. It was an amazing experience. And super excited for next year. Pageant November 20th and November 21st. Miss Fabulous Las Vegas and Miss Fabulous America Filipina. Gosh, I have so many other things going on. I want to tell Eric we need to get you into the stem cell. I need to get you freshened up on stem cells. Yeah, we got now you need it. That's something I'm also getting into. So if you guys are ready to learn about stem cell therapy and rejuvenation, I'm your woman to get it out there. But yeah, Eric, let's talk about after something we need to get you your knee therapy on. So, but
definitely.
Crypto, I'm going to speak on a panel August 11 for the Panda Club here in Las Vegas, or in Las Vegas when I get back. We speak on a panel, crypto, NFTs, TikTok, and how social media influences the crypto world. We're speaking about that, and then, have the Bel Air project I'm working on. I have so many things. So Eric and I can talk forever when we have our thing going.
Exactly, and that's the comfort that we want to bring, and not only that, and let everybody else get involved. And how do they get involved? Only by hearing what's going on, and you guys keeping them in line with the news. And you know what? I don't want everyone to use burden, but the opportunity for them to give back by, there's by sponsorship, donations, or just them attending the event. Them attending itself right there, it's because they're going to tell the next person, et cetera, et cetera. And remember, everybody needs help in some way, shape, or form, and everybody needs to be listened to, or maybe they just need that encouraging word. And in this new platform that's coming, I'm very excited because it is going to give them that word. It is giving them that opportunity to be heard and to be that person that says, you know what, life isn't too bad. I mean, so bad after all. We all go through it, and here's a way that we can see our way out of it, and we're not alone. People do go through different things of life, as I have personally, and with the loss of my son, and I deal with it every single day, every single second, and I'm glad I have this opportunity that keeps me alive, because this show is my serenity, as I shared with Eric numerous times. And so everybody goes through a struggle, everybody goes through some hurt and pain, and now that we are offering, I say we because as a team, offering them a platform to be heard, and just some ways out there where we can be helped.
It's going to be awesome for these young fighters coming up to be able to see professionals in a vulnerable state, because some of these young cats lose in the amateurs, and they think that's it. I'm not any better than I'll ever be, and it's like a loss in the amateurs is nothing. It's a stepping stone. It's a learning curve. A loss in your pros is the same thing, in my opinion. Yeah, it may make or break, but at the same time, it doesn't take away from anything that you've accomplished in the ring.
I could see Kristine in the future, honestly, working with a lot of these fighters' wives, going to her and say, you don't know what I put up with at home. You don't know what I'm going through. And her just being that ear and being those hugging arms just to embrace and captivate their mindset and put them back on track.
You don't know how many rooms she's had to paint to get over things.
I can imagine, man.
I mean, it's amazing that you say that, because it is something that nobody ever thinks about, right? Like, you are the person there that has to be supportive, and you have to be understanding, and you have to know that that person is doing it, for the better of himself and his family, and her as the wife, and a lot of times there's a lot of lack of communication, because a lot of the times, a lot of the wives and, partners don't understand that, and it can cause stress on the fighter, and during, all of that, they're either in it and don't know what's going on, or they're totally detached from it and they don't know how to be a supportive partner. So yeah, that is a whole nother realm that I don't think very many people talk about.
Well, you heard it first here on The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters.
Yeah.
Unlike Kristine and Eric Dog Boxer was simply knocking out the competition. I want to thank everybody, all the questions that have come in, and I want to thank everybody that have subscribed. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do at www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. The best part of the show, as always, I'm Richard Ortiz, your host of The Fighter's Voice, along with Eric Dog Boxer Hernandez, host of The Fighter's Voice, along with Kristine Stokes, Las Vegas, host of The Fighter's Voice. And as always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie. Thank you, guys. And we'll be talking soon. Feel free to